founders behind the rap industry. I wonder if he's asked those questions. All right. This one's called Were Black People Ever Really Smart? And you got black folks that have failed for a lot of tricks. And unfortunately, we have too many black folks that keep falling for those tricks because they cannot admit that they were tricked to begin with. And so, were black people ever really smart? Did they really have a bunch of black kingdoms? Then how then were they so defeated by white men who came to lynch them? I haven't read this one in a long time. From white mythology, white Buddhism, white Islam, how did blacks get caught in white religion? From white Catholics, white Christianity, white Jehovah's Witness, enslaving blacks was all of their missions. Why didn't blacks see that white religion was being used to make black people passive? How could so many blacks be enslaved in a land that was so very massive? We read all about black civilizations that built so many great pyramids. So how could whites make blacks reject all the things that our black people did? Blacks were enslaved, but some blacks still knew that whites were not the sole reason. In order for whites to make blacks inferior, that a lot of blacks had to believe them. Why would blacks start believing in white gods? Why would blacks turn away from black creation? Why would blacks turn away from universal science and start believing in a white man for salvation? Why would blacks who navigate the universe, why would blacks who track the stars and moon give up their black knowledge to white folks and allow blacks to become bums and buffoons? Why would blacks give up millions of years? Now black history is shattered and broken. Why would blacks go from writing black history to a black history that barely is spoken? Maybe the blacks that came to this planet were smart, but somehow their children were made dumb by whites who came here like vampires and made stupidity look really fun. Okay? Y'all know I be having a problem with black folks that act like they don't see the things that white folks are spreading. And Lord knows black folks are getting infected every day, men, women, and children, by the things that are being spread. You can't look at the news without seeing them spreading dysfunctions all over the place. And the more they spread it, the more they need blacks to help them do it. And there is no shortage of house Negroes that are willing to get it done, yet still jump on the other side of the fence and say they're trying to help the black community. The best way you can help black children in the black community, be honest about how they got this way. Okay. Now, this is the one that the people keep asking for. I don't read this one a lot. I just put it on the show, on the description. You guys can go to the web site, which is BAC or DYCTV, and read it for yourself. But you have some people that felt like it was appropriate for me to read it since I'm doing the poetry shows and answering this person who says that we need to talk about black on black crime and not talk about the things he already knows. All right. This is called the Willie Lynch myth, and y'all know this one is a doozy. But we got to break it down for some black folks so they understand that you were in physical slavery. And remember, black males fought on both sides of the Civil War for the white people. You had black folks that fought for the North to end physical slavery, send black, they didn't know at the time that they were sending black folks into mental slavery. But you have black folks in the South that fought to keep slavery because they masters say it so. All right. Some blacks say that Willie Lynch never did exist. Some blacks say that it was a hoax. Some say it was a myth. But hoax or myth, let's take a look and see if it's a lie. Though many have attempted to break it down for blacks, let me give it a try. In 1712, the speech begins on the James River. It is said, while Rome used cords of wood as crosses, this white used trees to hang our dead. Willie Lynch said he had caught a whiff of valuable stock that could be saved. If whites just listened, he guaranteed to show them a better way to make blacks behave. Development of a social being and how to make a slave. To the young black man, his pregnant mate, and a baby. Now turn the page. Describe with the basic principles that you use to break a horse. Then you add some other factors in and then add a little force. For fear that white future generations may let blacks slip through their hands, he told the white men to keep it simple for white children to learn the plan. Both horse and black men are no good for the economy you see. In their wild and natural state, it's clear neither one of them should be free. For an orderly future, special attention must be paid to black females, to give her children to fear all whites, so whites can dominate the males. Her children must be taught to respond to a particular new language. Mental instructions must be given unto whites that can be dangerous. Most whites hold above 6 basic rules that whites believe to be self-evident. The horse and black men will surely be forever white back-breaking serpents. Both horse and black men can be dangerous to white men when they're captured. They both will have a tendency to seek their freedom ever after, and in so doing, black men just might kill white men in their sleep. So whites cannot rest. It would take too much to kill a black man once he's free. So keep his body and take his mind. The breaking process is the same. The horse and black men both are beasts that white men have to tame. For the continued future of slavery, pay no attention to the old. Concentrate on future black generations. Get them to sell their souls. For example, let's take a stud and a female horse and he, and a baby horse, then let's compare them to blacks and you will see. Now take the horse and lock him up and break into his beat. Then take the female horse and break her down till she's fearful, confused, and weak. Then train that female horse so that she will eat out of your hand. Then she in turn will raise her young to fear whites when they can. When it comes to breaking uneducated blacks, the same process you will find. A different degree, turn up the pressure, do a complete reversal of the mind. Now, whites should take the meanest and baddest black man and strip him of his clothes in front of all of the remaining black males and the black females that he knows. And whites should tie each other's legs to a different horse facing opposite directions. Set his butt on fire and slap the horses to rip him up his middle section. Now, whites should take a whip and beat another black man right to the point of death in front of his mama and his children, but don't kill him, share the wealth. Just put the fear of God in him for all of the other blacks to see. Now, he can make more whites, more money with all the slaves that he can breed. The Negro marriage unit is something white men should control. Keep black men moving and on the run so his black children can be sold. Make the female raise her sons who always depend on her for help, and make her raise her daughters to not need a man and to always do things for themselves. Now, in 18 years, when all of her children get old enough to breed, they'll continue the cycle and make weaker blacks that can't spell or write or read. So white men feel this does sound good, but long-range planning whites must do. For if the blacks ever learn their history, then white dominance is true. Now, whites should keep black females at the head, and whites must keep black men falling behind. But if any phenomenon should twist them back, it will be their history they will find. For now, whites have no reason to worry as long as whites teach blacks to hate the black race. So the programming may get a little more complicated. Blacks must see blacks as a waste of space. But whites must control the words blacks hear and keep blacks dumb so blacks don't know. That when a black man finds his history, his education grows. When you tell a dumb man that this is ours and he doesn't know the language well, by ours, whites mean belong to whites. To them, black men are just for sale. So maybe a man named Willie Lynch never even walked this land. But what about the things that are in the letters? Did whites do that to Africans? I don't know. It seems they did. Maybe visiting a black museum could help. Or maybe one day when you have the time, you should read the letter for yourself. All right. We got 5 minutes. Let me see what else I can give him in 5 minutes. All right. We gave him Willie Lynch. Let's see. Whew. The weakening of the black man and black woman. Let's see what we got. I once was an angel, but now I'm racked with sin. I once was a black man, but now my friends call me their boy. I once was part of a royal couple, but now I'm just a player. I once was a great defender, but now my friends call me their dog. I once was a strong Egyptian, but now I'm just a slave. I once was part of a family, but now I just have folks. I once was a guardian army, but now I'm just a guerrilla unit. I once was a sacred healer, but now I've just been had. I was once seen as invincible, but now I have been conquered. I used to stand up tall for justice, but now I just stand for dig. I used to seek the greatest knowledge, but now I'm dumb and just don't know. I once was born to be a leader, but now I just get led. I used to honor my royal mother, but now I couldn't care any less. I used to know all of my neighbors, but now they just call me a sellout. I used to create mighty organizations, but now I just get funded. I used to say all power to the people, but now I just get what's mine. I once was raised to be a queen, but now I'm just a stripper. I used to live a royal life, but now I just exist until I die. I used to build great schools for blacks, but now I'm just miseducated. I used to travel the black world, but now I'm getting left behind. I used to know how to unite my people, but now I'm divided, broken, and broken. I used to walk straight, strong, and tall, but now I'm weak with sick dysfunction. I used to yearn to grow to greatness, but now I just stay how I am. I had a zest to see my children's future, but now white people just slaughter them like the lambs. Okay? So, black men used to not ask crazy questions like that. Black men were out there getting it done. And unfortunately, many of them have decided that whites have been so good to them that they feel they can help black children and still sit down with the slave masters, get the slave masters to help them. But maybe this person should really look into, when he's trying to help black children, who owns the jail? I asked you in a show, I said, who owns the jail? Who owns the prisons? You have black Willie Lynch Negroes that actually believe, unfortunately, that taxpayers own the jails and prisons. No. Everything in your jails and prisons are provided by a company or corporation. It is a profit business. And when you are talking about children that are being programmed to slaughter each other, you are talking about a profitable business and killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because you make blacks look like savages. So while he's looking for solutions, he may want to get out there and find out who actually owns what. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully it'll be a while before somebody brings the pamper out of me like this again. And we'll go back to our series and just keep it moving. But, in the meantime, I got to do what I got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and say to you until the next show, all power to the people.